All right, what are we looking at going to Monday? The dead zone on NQ is a little bit larger than usual, and that's something to be aware of. So don't, if you're getting entries on one side and setting stops on the other, just as an example, that's not a standard, just an example. Just be mindful of this chop that can exist in this area. But if we break above and 805, this will float up to New York open target, ready for RTH. And at that point, we're going to already be facing the overnight ceiling. And so be aware of that. Even though the median range is above, we can get an abnormal push to the upside by buyers very quickly, um, near open or before the afternoon, to hit the weekly ceiling, which is rather close as opposed to other weeks. This tells us overall that this is limited upside on NQ. Limited upside does not mean that we cannot long. It's just the room that we have too long will not be as previous weeks or previous sessions. So that's something to be aware of. But you could set some targets actually quite conservatively because of that. There's some very strong resistance targets up here. So just be mindful of that. But if we start rejecting near this weekday resistance, Monday over Mondays, and this float area, then we're going to push down, test these vectors. And if you're wanting some confluence, break below the dead zone and the vectors, you could get some hourly closes. I mean, this will revise over ETH, but this is this very easy seller target here. It's very important support. If this gets broken, we're going to push even further to 524. That's going to definitely be a test. And if we start pushing overnight and break this, I'm looking for this near New York open if we really get this push past this important support on NQ. So be mindful of that, because below that, 80% of the time for the daily, the low of day is above this 307.75. If we start testing this wave 7 daily vector very soon in the week, that'll be quite surprising and very important to see how the rest of the week goes. Be mindful. We have these aggressive lower open targets and the weekly floor very, very far down. It's unusually far down from previous sessions. So be aware of that. On ES, the situation is that we have this float and weekday resistance, and on ES we have I put it as a fly or die zone. Essentially, it's similar to here. If we start floating above, target that median range and the long target. If we get above here, just 73 to 80, we have a possible reversion zone. That doesn't mean immediate reversion, but it can chop before reverting. So be aware of that, because 84% of the time, high of day is below this 44 level. So I'm going to start paying attention for some shorts in this area. I'm going to watch, make sure there's confluence, break below, retest. But I want to see this revision of the vectors move up so that we can get some momentum and velocity going downwards. But again, seller targets 97.5% low of day at or below. These are conservative seller targets. If we break below this yellow box, that'd be nice. 6,400 area or 399. If sellers come in more aggressively, average pullback from this area is 6384.5. So that's also pretty conservative as a TP2 if you're entering around this area. If you are entering in from above here, then your TP1 and 2 would probably be closer up here. So moving back down, then again, TP2 can be up here or down here, and then median range could be your final TP, or leave runners after that for a reversion zone, just like this top side. So again, not immediate reversions, but possible reversions, especially for it being a Monday. I'm not expecting great outlier moves, but that does not mean I won't be prepared for one. So keep that in mind as we're going into Monday, and we will tackle it.